Good morning and happy Tuesday. It's the last Tuesday of the school year. We have this morning and tomorrow morning. Technically, you could set an alarm for 11:45 tomorrow, and when it goes off, you could declare yourself officially a sixth grader. That's how close we are to the end of this school year. I can't believe it. But here we are. This will be my last big video about how to do some math. Tomorrow I'll have one up, but it's really just going to be about what's left in your packet and what you can do with it and some quick things to go through. It won't be a major learning video. So make sure you go back and get caught up on any of the last little bits of math that you have left, because after today's work you can use all of the extra things for just extra practice. Tomorrow you have your social studies and science things that you can look at instead. So let's go into today's. We are on Tuesday. We are going to work on this momentarily. You also have a story problem to dig out. It is Unit 4, Day 2, and it's talking about juice, so start digging that out. Make sure you get a good practice lap in on those sixes. I know we don't have to go any farther for these, but please practice your facts. If there's anything you can do to help yourself next year after being gone for so long, it's knowing your facts and knowing them really well. So please practice those, and then you have your fraction game that you can keep playing. So here are our problems for today. There were a few more on the back side of your paper. If you didn't notice that, there were a few more back there. All we're working on is adding up fractions, and it's a fairly nice one because all of my fractions have the same denominator, and you guys know that that's important for adding because it's adding like things. As long as you're adding like things, it's not too bad. Because all this is saying is that if I had 2/5 and 1 extra fifth, how many fifths do I have? Well, you can see I have 1, 2, 3 of them, and they're all fifths, so it's really pretty simple to just add that on there and say that I have 3/5. Notice, though, that when I did that, I didn't change my denominator, because if I said what's 1 apple plus 2 apples, you wouldn't tell me I had 3 oranges. That doesn't make any sense. I still have apples, just a certain amount of them, and that's kind of what's going on here. I had fifths, I gave it more fifths, so I just end up with extra fifth. Let's look over here. This one is a little bit different. In this one I have a third, and a third, which is pretty simple. I have 1, 2, 3 thirds. But some of you are probably already a step ahead of me on this one and realize that if I have 3 thirds, I also have 1 whole, because I have every piece of what should have been a whole puzzle. So I also have just 1 whole. Now this one down here, I'm going out of order today. The third one's for you to send to your teacher, because we never really talked about how to multiply a fraction. So I'm going to show you a couple ways to do it, basically. So first things first, you have to decide which problem to do first. Think back to your gems. Which one of these two things should I be doing first, the multiplication or the addition? If you go through your order of operations, multiplying comes before the adding and subtracting category. So I have to do this part first. Didn't have parentheses, but I could almost put them there if I wanted to. And I will, just so you can see what I'm working on. Which could go one of two ways. No, you don't know how to multiply, but you do know what multiplying means. It means that thing twice. So I could do 3/4 plus 3/4 and call it that. And then add on my 1/4. Which would give me 6 7/4. If you guys remember what to do with that, that means I have the whole circle, because that would have been 4 of them, and some extra pieces. In that case, I made a whole circle using 4 of them, which leaves me with 3 pieces out of the 4 I wanted. That's how you do that. Or you could set it up and do 4 divided by 7. It fits in there 1 whole time. Subtract off your 4, you got 3. And then that 3 would come up and be your numerator, and the 4 would skirt over and be your denominator. Either way you want to think about it is fine. And for those of you that want to figure out how to multiply it, save yourself the hassle of having to do this if it's ever like times 6 times 7, we know that on a whole number, there's only one piece, so the denominator is 1. And if I was going to times that by 3/4, multiplying fractions is pretty nice because you just multiply straight across. So in this case, I would do 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 4 is 4, and I get 6/4. Same thing I would have gotten if I added the 3/4 and 3/4. Would have been 6/4 too. And then I would take that 6/4, add on my extra fourth, and still get 7/4, which is still equal to 1 3/4. Either way is fine. But this is the one you need to send to your teacher today. Have a great day.